Hi, welcome to this short video about giving great feedback. We all find there are times when we need to praise someone or to let them know that what they have done or said was not acceptable or appropriate or was just incorrect. We do this so that we get the good stuff to happen again. Praise means you will usually do it again, or to show that we don't want something to happen again, to deter repetition. So I'm going to take a few minutes to share with you a couple of easy to remember models that will help you to give feedback, both as praise and for improvement, in a way that will be well received and useful. So let's start with praise. Well, that's easy, isn't it? You just say, great job, well done, thanks, and that's it? Or is it? Let me ask you a couple of questions. Apart from feeling good that you've said something nice to them, what do they know about the praise? What did they do that warranted the praise? What was good about it? How will they know what specifically they did that led to the praise? The answer is they don't. They may have a general idea if you have given the praise immediately after they did the thing you're praising them for, but they still won't be certain. And what if you can't give the praise straight away? This model will help you to give really great feedback, both for praise and then with a slight adjustment as feedback for improvement. The model is called the STAR model. The S stands for situation, T for task, A for actions taken, and R for results or outcome of those actions. So when constructing your feedback, you need four things. What was the situation they were in? What task were they doing? What actions did they take? And what was the result? What was the outcome as a result of these actions? Let's take this example. Jane, I noticed when you were covering on reception yesterday and handling the telephone calls that you coped really well with the volume of calls and all the visitors that came to reception. You were polite and calm with everyone, kept on top of inquiries, and didn't leave the phone ringing for ages. When Joanne came back, you left her with a clear handover. She was really pleased and said that it made things really easy for her to pick back up and that there wasn't a backlog of inquiries. Thanks for helping out and doing such a great job. So that's a piece of STAR feedback. So let's look at how it's constructed. Jane, I noticed when you were covering reception, this is the situation that Jane was in. Handling the telephone calls and volume of calls and all the visitors was the task that Jane was doing whilst she was on reception. The next section in blue, being polite and calm and keeping on top of inquiries and not leaving the phone ringing for ages and having a clear handover for Joanne, are all the actions she took. And then the result of those actions is the section in pink, that it made things easy for Joanne and that there wasn't a backlog of inquiries. Rather than just having the final sentence as feedback, Jane is getting a very clear understanding of what she did that led to the feedback, so that she's likely to do this again. Now let's look at feedback for improvement. What's the purpose of feedback for improvement? Is it to tell someone off, like being back in school? Or is it to ensure that they understand what is acceptable and not acceptable performance within their role? If it's for the second reason, then saying something like, well, that was really helpful, wasn't it? Or that wasn't your greatest moment in the team meeting. It's not really giving them any information about what they need to improve. It just tells them that you're not happy about something, but not actually what or why. So using the STAR model of feedback for improvement would look like this. The S, T, A and R are the same as in praise, the situation, task, actions they took and results of those actions. But in this case, it's all going to be negative up to this point. Then you move on to look at the additional A and R that you include when you're giving feedback for improvement. The second A is for the alternative actions they could take, and the second R, the likely results that those alternative actions will achieve. Now, depending on the circumstances, you have two choices as to how you approach the introduction of a better way of doing things. You could just give them the alternative so they know for next time, or you could ask them questions to see if they can come up with a different and better way. You could ask, how else do you think you could have approached this? Or how do you think they would have responded in that situation? So that they can then work out the alternative for themselves. This may be suitable for some people, but not for all. For example, someone new to a role with limited technical knowledge may not have the answer, or if they have limited experience dealing with customers, for instance, they may not have any ideas, but you will know which is the best option to use with each of your people. So let's take a look at an example. When asked challenging questions in last week's team meeting, I observed that you tended to respond in an aggressive and defensive manner without listening to the challenges which were being put forward. This led to people losing interest and withdrawing from the discussion. Next time you're trying to put your view across, if you listen to the questions and challenges and then respond in a neutral but interested tone, asking questions back where you need more understanding, then you will keep them on side and are more likely to get buy-in to your suggestions. By explaining the initial negative outcome and then giving an alternative, more positive option encourages a change in approach next time. You have signposted a more useful and productive way of dealing with the situation or task. So the first half of this example is similar to the praise. You've got the situation when asking challenging questions. You've got the task in last week's team meeting. You've got the actions, responding in an aggressive and defensive manner without listening to the challenges. And then the result of people losing interest and withdrawing from the discussion. Quite negative to this point, but making it very clear what was not working for them. You then go to add in the extra A and the extra R. The alternative actions are in the brown text, listening to questions and challenges, responding in a neutral but interested tone, and asking questions back where you need more understanding. And then the alternative result they're likely to get as a result of doing the different action is that it will keep them on side and that you're more likely to get buy-in to your suggestions, the text in purple. So from this you can see that in this example we're telling them an alternative that should help them next time to get a better result in that meeting. So in summary, feedback needs to be specific and clear so that the person receiving it understands exactly what was good or what needs improvement. You should give feedback in private, especially feedback for improvement. But for some people, praise also is best given in private. Not everybody likes everybody to know. They can find that a little bit embarrassing. Say the feedback in a neutral and calm manner, especially if you're annoyed or upset by what's happened. Describe how it made you feel rather than show that feeling in a raised voice or inappropriate language. The impact is much greater, I promise you. Still use the general words of praise such as great job, well done, but use that as part of a detailed feedback and not just as the only feedback. And then practice, practice, practice. Once you get into the swing of using the model, you will be able to use it and it will be just as if you're having a conversation with someone. This will remove that dreaded phrase, can I have a word? Or I'd like to give you some feedback, that we all dread, don't we? If you would like some supporting material about feedback, you can find this in my blog on the website www.7hr-training.co.uk. Thank you.